Freon, you want to add something? Nope. Okay. Thank you so much, Chairman.
Mrs. Mickus, your testimony highlights the request for official agencies to take part in research activities. As the Vice President of an official agency, can you speak to the impact this clarification would have on your family's business and the inspection system as a whole?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, we have seen over the years that FGIS has worked very hard to help get technology going, but it is a difficult process. Nick and I, a few years back, went to an agricultural marketing summit, marketing services innovation summit, and we were there with fruits and vegetables and organics, and everyone else was having a little bit easier of a time finding technology to help aid in their inspection process. And when people think that you're in your isolated area and you feel maybe that you're a unicorn, everything is a lot more difficult for our area. We found that for grain, that was definitely true. When you're looking at a tomato, you can see things pretty visibly, whereas we're looking at tiny little kernels and looking at them individually per sample we do for a rail car. So with that, there is a lot that has been going on in technology, and there is definitely a bottleneck in having the federal government do all of the testing or all of the analysis on it to determine if something is fit for purpose. So one of the things that we discussed in the advisory committee is, new technologies will come through, but you always have to make sure that it is the same or better. And that is difficult to do and takes a lot of time. So one of the things that we have discussed is that official agencies could take on some of that in the beginning, let's say 80 to 90%. And when I was talking about mycotoxins earlier, that's where you've seen the most evolution in technology, is things that there is a great scientific base that is outside of the official agency's purview as well. Whereas when you're talking about visual grading, that is something that there are very few that are experts in, FGIS being one, as well as official agencies. So we think that official agencies would be able to take on a lot of that and help escalate the timeliness of getting technology improved, as well as being able to see a lot of real-life examples that happen right away instead of figuring it out when something is already approved. Our agency provides service in 9 states. That's a lot of different types of damages, different types of corn, soybeans, and different geographical environments. And we think that that would be an added benefit for official agencies to help as well.
Very good. Mr. Wipf, you outline the successful and swift action by FGIS and stakeholders to remedy the soybeans of other color issue a few years ago. Can you speak to the need for this process to be adaptable to new seed technologies that maintain the expectation of consistency and quality worldwide?
Yes, so to me, that situation that I highlighted with the soybeans of other color, it just shows us that the system worked. It's robust enough to deal with a curveball we hadn't seen before, maybe, and luckily we were able to work through that process, and very grateful that we were able to do so, and that nothing was disrupted for the farmers. I think it's important that we continue to offer that flexibility because of the unknown unknowns. We don't know maybe what the next sort of similar situation might be, but I'm grateful that the system worked.
Very good. Mr. Bryant, you served many years on the Grain Inspection Advisory Committee. Can you share additional insight in the importance of the advisory committee and if the committee has tried to tackle some of the priorities you raised today?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I appreciate that question. And very much so, the advisory committee has served a really important function for the agency and then for industry, producers, official agencies, as I mentioned previously, that public forum to have the conversations and for FGIS to hear from stakeholders, what do we need? And I think one really good success story, and I want to thank Senator Hyde-Smith and Senator Hoeven had to leave, dealing with FDA actionable grain. And that was something that the committee brought, the committee brought to the agency and said, here's some concerns, here's some changes we would like to see happen. FGIS took those recommendations from the committee, back, worked with FDA, and then, as I mentioned, the support from Senator Hyde-Smith and Senator Hoeven to help the process along, and we ended up with some new directives and direction that has made it significantly easier for the industry to manage. So really, truly a good success story of how that advisory committee worked, and the agency took what was recommended and turned it into something actionable for the industry.
Very good. Senator Hyde-Smith, have you got any other questions or comments? Well, thank you again, witnesses, for being here. You did a tremendous job, and this was very, very helpful. This helps us understand how important it is for us to get our work done and get this reauthorized. We do appreciate the fact that you took time, especially when it brings you out of the field and things like that. Tell your daddy I'm sorry. And the record will remain open for 5 business days. Again, thanks always to all of the staff that worked so hard to make this happen on both sides. And with that, the hearing's adjourned.